Okay, we are back for another week of Basic Banter for Witches.
Welcome, guys. Thanks so much for joining us
We're so
again.
excited. Yes, and we are so excited to bring another amazing guest that we have had the pleasure to meet. We cannot wait. We're so thankful that she's been so patient with us because we've been talking about this ever since we met her in the summertime.
Literally. Yeah.
So it's the most amazing Bobbie from the Soul Kiss Journey. That is your full business name, right?
It is actually just Soul Kiss. Yeah.
Soul Kiss. Okay.
Yeah, just Soul Kiss. Okay. Yeah. Everybody calls it the Soul Kiss Journey, but there's a whole reason that it's like that.
Tell us. We got time.
Well, well, originally I was thinking about this morning is I actually built that Instagram page to be more of like the journey of what I've been going through.
Oh, wow.
But that's why we called it the Soul Kiss Journey. And that was like, me and my friends are like, you just need to tell everybody your story. And then, you make something and then you're like, oh, I just don't know where to start. And so that's kind of my goal, to actually make it that this year. And then Soul Kiss is just the business. But the Instagram page was supposed to be all of the stories and things I've been through and learned along my ways. And,
I love it. Okay, well, let's start from the beginning. I'd love to know, how did you get started and everything? And what was, I guess I should give our listeners some background on you. You do so many wonderful things. The way that Jessica and I were able to meet you was at the Fringe in Saskatoon in the summer of 2022. And we were able to do this amazing aura report, which Jessica and I had never done before. We've only heard about of people getting auras done in Sedona.
Yeah, that's like the main one. That's everybody's been to Sedona except for me, but
right.
Same here.
So that kind of launched us falling in love with you, obviously, and then getting to know a bit more through your page, learning now that you are a Reiki master, that you teach how to do crystal grids, you're a card reader, you are practicing meditation, that you're also a yogi. I love it all. I love all that.
It sounds like a lot, but I promise it's been very spread out and slow going, but
amazing. Okay, so tell us, where did you begin?
Yeah, what was your point of the first thing?
How did Soul Kiss start?
Just tell us about you, Bobbie.
Yeah, well, you guys, it's a long story. I think if we're to get into it, it starts back when so it started with mediumship, but how we got to mediumship is through, well, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I live with MS.
Oh,
so
no,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I've had that for, oh gosh, since grade 8 is when my symptoms started. And then it took till my graduating year, which is 2012, to finally get diagnosed. And then,
it took that long to get diagnosed.
Yeah, it took a really long time.
Oh
God. It was a lot to do with my symptoms are very different than the normal individual who lives with it. And then it just, my age was a big factor. They didn't believe that someone that young could be having the symptoms that I was having at that time. So
oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so through that journey, which has been a big one, the MS has been up and down. At that time, I was really trying everything to do, because I was having a ton of reactions to medication that they were prescribing me.
Yeah.
So I'd started on one where it was a needle every day, which was Capaxin. Okay. Oh, I might be saying that wrong, but it's basically a needle that you have to take every day.
Wow.
But at that time I was 110 pounds soaking wet.
Oh.
And I was having really bad reactions and my skin was starting to bubble up.
So
from there, we tried another one. I ended up in the hospital for a month, tried some more.
Wow.
I think I lived in that ER, it seemed.
No kidding.
And I was having reactions where they said this is wild. People don't have this reaction. It's such a small number.
Wow.
So I just decided, you know what? My sister at the time went to, I think she was either in or spending some time in Australia or New Zealand. I can't remember which one, but she had met this lovely, lovely woman named Haley, who's a naturopath. And through their friendship, Haley and I started working together, and she started, being like, let's do this. And I followed her stuff to a T. And within kind of like 1 month of doing it, my body completely changed and I was feeling really good. But then I started to kind of hear some things. I started to be like, just know these things that just didn't really make a lot of sense to me. So I actually thought that maybe they got it wrong and I didn't have MS and I had a brain tumor, because I don't know about you guys, but I love Grey's Anatomy so much that I'm basically a doctor.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've seen this episode. It's definitely a brain tumor. And at that time, I was so just tired of being sick and tired of being in the hospital. And my mother and I have always been really interested in individuals who speak to loved ones who have passed on. We've always been so intrigued by it, but we've never understood it, right? And at this time, I was like, well, what if I'm actually like connecting to something? Because the stuff I was hearing was like, people would be talking about somebody and I would just know who it was, or I would know things about people before they'd even necessarily tell me. And I was kind of getting quite confused about how is this working? So at this time, I saw an ad pop up for a teacher. Her name is actually Glenise Hughes. She's, I don't believe anymore she's teaching mediumship, but she does bars. But she is absolutely incredible. And I took a course from her, and I had only booked to go for the one day. And lo and behold, I kind of ended up disrupting the entire class. And we had to put a big hold on. So middle of the class, I don't know how familiar you guys are with mediumship. Like,
we've done some intro to spiritual guidance and mediumship and that. So
okay,
we're
cool.
obsessed.
I'd
say we like it a little bit.
But you know what? It's honestly, I kind of call it my baby. It's actually like, I have the most respect for it. And I probably respect it a little bit too much for the beauty it can bring and the healing it can create for people.
Sure.
So in this class, we started talking about attachments. And for those who maybe don't know, attachments are kind of those, we can call them entities, but like they're basically just, it kind of depends where you want to start with it. But for me, it was, I kind of been feeling kind of this like very like stagnant line of not sad, not happy, just kind of like
just being.
What's the point? Just very like center. Totally. In this class, she started talking about attachments, and I was like, oh, and I kind of like, have that moment where like that light goes off. I'm like, oh, this sounds like how I've been feeling. Like my emotions really resonate with this. And then she started talking about how to get rid of them.
Wow.
And every time I would try to ask her, like, do I have one? I would start feeling like someone was strangling me. And I was like, and then I screamed, and I was like, what? Like, how do you get rid of an attachment? And the whole class looked at me, and I was the youngest one, and my mom's beside me because my mom also decided to join me, which
absolutely
was awesome. We thought this would just be something fun to do, lighthearted. We both were kind of feeling we needed something lighthearted to do together that wasn't medical at the time.
Yes. That you thought was going to be lighter.
Exactly.
Yes. That we thought was going to be lighter. So she just looked at me and she's like, are you ready? Are you ready to do mediumship? And I was like, just nodded, because I really couldn't really speak. And I kind of I don't really love people all like, I feel like I sometimes love to like give people and like talk, but sometimes when a lot of eyes are on me, I'm like, oh, this is too much pressure. So I get a little bit
of just do this.
Yeah, I get like stage fright, so all these women are looking at me, and I'm like, I don't think I could do this. But at the time I felt like I had to, because it was literally felt like I couldn't breathe. And it was incredible, and it was life-changing, and that whole moment was very out of a movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I had to do mediumship, and right there, and everybody at the table looked like they just saw a ghost, literally.
Wow.
And they all said at the end, they're like, we don't even recognize you. And she,
What?
after we got rid of that attachment, she's like, okay, I think we're gonna break for lunch. We're way ahead of where we were supposed to be. And yeah, so
wow,
it was very interesting. So that's kind of the mediumship, and then I started with that, and I loved it. And then I just kind of had some mentors kind of bully me a little bit
oh,
on my way. So I kind of, and I really respect my mentors. I have so much love for them. And obviously not Glenise. Glenise never bullied me, but
which is
other
good.
individuals down,
Yeah.
other individuals down along the way. And so I took a big step back, and yeah, I haven't been doing it, but it is my favorite thing in the entire world. And I love it. And I hope one day that will be my main focal point. And that's actually the reason why I ended up getting the Aura equipment, is because I'm, I feel like through it, it's a really gentle and easy way to kind of step back into a little bit of that without it being so.
Yes.
There we go.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
I've heard that. Cool. I've heard that, like, it goes hand in hand sometimes, seeing the aura. Like, it's like an intro. Yeah.
Yeah. And different, like, different modalities bring different things. So, when I was taking a break from the mediumship, actually, this is quite interesting. So when I was doing mediumship, I actually got brought to this one lady who is now one of my dear friends. And she's actually an incredible Reiki master who taught me. And, but at the time when I met her, I was just going to people's houses, and I remember she booked a session, and I saw her, and I was like, what do I possibly have to offer this woman? Like, and I sat down, and her mom came through, and then her mom just kind of I didn't know this at the time, but her mom kept bringing me all their family members. And I didn't know for the longest time that they all were related. But I just remember looking at one of the ladies. I'm like, I just don't know if I'm very good at this mediumship thing, because I keep getting what feels like the same woman who passed away the same way. And she's like, well, who have you all seen? And I told her the names, and, oh, I'm related to them, and that's so-and-so, and that's their auntie. And anyways, years later, I'm friends with the entire family. And interesting that I feel her mom brought me to all of them, because her mom was the main individual that kept coming up in all of the readings.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She's like, also, here's this person. Also,
yeah,
you should meet them.
Yes. Oh, like, to meet. Yeah. And that's kind of how it was. And then because I met her daughter, and then the whole family, her daughter ended up teaching me Reiki. And then that's kind of when I decided I'm going to take a little bit of a break from mediumship. And I actually wasn't interested in the Reiki, but she was like, no, you're going to do this. Like, you're meant to be doing this stuff. And she's like, this will just be great while you're taking a break. And I'm so glad I have it, because it's so lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
that's
just
so
little
amazing.
I love that. That is so wild.
Yeah.
Wow. I honestly, so going back to, like, your unfortunate disease with MS, it's so hard. Like, MS to me is such a invisible disease, because you don't know everybody who has them, because the struggles are all very different.
Yes.
So so that's why I was like so shocked when you told us. I was like, I'm sorry,
what do you mean? Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
can I ask, is it genetic? Is that how? I don't even know.
Not well, you know what, they say that it's not. Some people, their auntie has it, or their mom or their dad. In my family, I don't have anybody who has it.
Wow.
So I'm the first individual who has it. So it's been interesting. But I always say I'm glad it's me and not the rest. I feel like I handle it fairly well in comparison to maybe how my family members would.
Yeah. Fair.
But that's also, we got I was working at a yoga studio a few years ago, and really enjoyed my time there. I was managing, and my boss at the time, she had gifted me the yoga, which has kind of been the other thing with this whole journey for me. Most of my courses have been kind of gifted, which has been really, really
That
sweet.
seems like really
Yeah.
like
It was meant to
serendipitous. Do you know what I mean?
be.
It was just like,
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, like the Reiki, or like, just it's been really nice. So when I was at the studio, I kind of had got some bad news with my MS. So basically, I don't know what year it was exactly, but they were like, you've got about 8 to 10 years. That's what you've got. And at the time, I hadn't been on any medication because, all the medication was making quite ill.
Yeah.
I was like stopping my, bowels from working, just making me sick. I was still ending up in the hospital.
Wow.
So I was like, holy okay, like we got 8 years. So
yeah.
we took that time off.
Wow.
Sorry.
It's
No,
okay. Thank you for being so vulnerable. But this is, like I said, like you are in a safe space.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy. I took that time off, and I just kind of was like, all right, we gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
8 years. I want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I also kind of had to decide between 2 different types of medication.
Okay.
And you know what? It was one of those things where I took a step back, and it was like good timing to do. And I found medication that actually did work for me. So I go now every 6 months it was every 6 months, but now it's every 5 months for an infusion in Saskatoon.
Oh, very good. Okay.
So yeah, it was a tough couple of years, and like this medication is really intense. It will make you gain a lot of weight.
Oh, okay.
It will put you out for about anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks after treatment.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was, when I first got it, I actually lost like a little bit of some function in my legs, and like I had one leg that was kind of dragging, and it bounced back, and then you have like dizzy spells, and because it's pretty intense. Like when they first are putting it, they like gowned up completely, and then they're putting it into your body. It's kind of like, okay, this is not just
where's my protection?
Yeah, sure. Like, wait
like,
a minute.
Yeah. So
this is serious, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So like, okay, this isn't just like having some tea and cupcakes. This is, a little bit more intense. So
wow. Oh my God.
So I've been doing that, and it's been good, but like usually it takes me about and then it kind of wipes out your immune system as well. So
you have to be extra
a little bit intense,
protected.
But because of this medication though, and again, like I'm kind of a person where I appreciate the medical field, but I love getting to the root of the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I love what like I've had the most success with my natural path.
Nice.
These different hippie,
I love it.
quotations,
We love it all.
modalities more than I have with medical.
Yeah.
But I do believe that the medical world is also super valuable and necessary. And for me,
of course,
I was feeling a little bit burnt out from all, when you try to fix something and you kind of start to like overextend your financials a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's a lot of work emotionally and physically, because you have to kind of go against what the rest of the world is deeming kind of acceptable, or answer a lot of questions. Like back when I was with the naturopath, I went off of gluten, and she's like, and sugars, and people are like, you don't need to do that, well, that's everybody's allergic to gluten. It's like, okay, I get it, but also like we're trying things, and it's helping, so it can't be hurtful.
Right.
Totally.
Then they gave me that news, and kind of like, I'm tired, I'm burnt out from pushing to do everything the natural way, and so right now I'm doing the medicine, and and it's helping.
Awesome.
And then eventually one day I'll be able to do the medicine and the naturopath together.
Exactly.
And right, like
Absolutely.
balance. And I've got to honor where my body's at, or my mental state's at, and what I can handle and what I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And
Totally.
I think people forget that it's much,
yeah.
you know, it's a balance. It's a ebbs and flow of everything.
No kidding.
So,
Exactly.
Do
You
you
have to listen
find-
to your body and do what is right for yourself. Right.
yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. It's your body. So
yes. Yeah.
So with you know, going through yoga and going through Reiki and all that, do you feel like that helps some of your symptoms when you have flare-ups, or do you feel like
so one thing about treatment that always seems to occur for me is I have a reaction where mid infusion my throat starts to close up.
Oh, really?
And it makes it quite difficult for me to breathe, so they've got to do some other medication to help with that.
Wow.
But then that medication, so it's like a Benadryl that goes through the IV, and it's quite thick. If you've never had that, it really burns and it really hurts. And it is like, I don't know if you guys like smoke, but like if you were to do a bong rip and you get that head high, it feels like
we've
that.
all dabbled a little.
I haven't. That one time
dabbled
that
in the devil's lettuce one
I had
time.
half a gummy. I had one half a gummy, and I just was tired.
And she giggled. She giggled at one movie, and that was
about it.
Right?
But
yeah, I've only done one bong rip in my entire life, and I saw some wolves, and I thought, this is enough for me.
Well, I'm proud of you for doing it. Good for you.
Now you can say you have.
And is it a proud moment? I don't know.
That's okay.
Interesting. Yes.
But now you can you can make the reference to the really thick Benadryl.
Exactly. Yes, the Benadryl and a
know?
bong rip are very much the same, if anybody's wondering.
Via IV, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Where this story ties in with Reiki.
Yes. Oh yeah, that.
I promise it does. My lovely teacher I was telling you about, her name is Ricky, and she's fantastic. I messaged her and I'm like, unwell, send Reiki. Like I am, and instantly like feeling grounded, feeling that head high coming down, not feeling the room spinning. So love
that's
that.
Amazing.
Yeah. So like,
wow.
And there's been times in my life where I'm just like doing something and, a friend calls and they're having anxiety, and it's like, we can help each other with it. And so I don't know, Reiki might not be, I love it and I'm so thankful for it and I enjoy doing it and I love teaching it. It's not the mediumship to my heart, but I so appreciate it. And I honestly hope that everybody, I kind of wish that everybody would get it, because I think it's so great to have in your back pocket for those moments in life where you're like, I got nothing. But I need something, right? So those moments where you're having maybe a bit of a hard time sleeping, some anxious thoughts, maybe some bad Benadryl through the IV,
Everything's possible. Yeah,
it'll
help it all.
I find it super helpful. So
wow.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, like you're right with the soul kiss journey. Like holy shit.
Legit is
like you're not even 30. And you've had all of this
30.
Not
you're
even
holding
30.
on.
I got 1 year left.
By the time this comes out, you will be 30. But that's
okay. Be 30 exactly. But my goodness, you've done so much, and I mean, of course, it's a bittersweet thing to have been so challenged so far. But you've lived a lot. I love that.
And you know what? I actually am not angry with my MS at all. Like.
No. That's amazing too.
There's a lot of people who are like, have challenges and have things, and this is just mine. Yeah. And, I've had, unfortunately, when I was saying I've had some people kind of been a bit in the, isn't it interesting in the community where it's supposed to be so nurturing and supportive?
Yeah.
They've kind of been the people who are kind of, they've been kind of assholes, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yes.
If I'm allowed to say that.
Yes, you
Okay,
can.
you can. We
Okay,
swear quite a bit on this show.
Quite a
Okay.
bit.
Like my mom would say I have a potty mouth.
Oh,
So I
fair.
should work on
Your
that.
mother may
Sorry,
not like
Mom.
our podcast.
But we have met your mom, and I swear to
That's
God, I know I
right.
swore in front of her. So
Oh,
Like, holy
she's-
shit, this
she-
is so
you know
fucking
what?
cool.
She's not against it. She's just
No.
like, Bobbie, you could,
Yeah.
you know, clean your mouth out. I'm like,
you're like, but I don't want to.
I don't want
Exactly.
to.
Listen, Mom.
Yeah.
So oh my gosh, what was I? So with this, I actually did have somebody say to me, this is like, I get why they said it. And it's not that they're wrong, but it's not that they're right.
Right.
Mhm.
So they're like, well, why don't you get rid of your MS? Which is
Because
a bit
it's
of that
just
spiritual
not that
bypassing. And I'm
easy.
like, well, how about my MS has a lot of things it can teach me.
Yeah.
It can
Mhm.
teach me, like, you know, loving and enjoying the moments that we have.
Yeah.
They're far and few,
Absolutely.
right?
Totally. And it's challenged you in such a way that now you look at life so differently.
Exactly.
If
Yeah.
you know, at the start of this, you're like, oh, I'll just take away my MS and like whatever.
Then
Then
what
you would
if-
have lost all of your lessons.
I was
that you're
gonna say,
learning right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I've always had empathy, but like, I'm gonna cry again. Oh my
That's okay.
gosh.
It's okay.
one of-
Honestly,
It's-
I'm so overly medicated. Otherwise, I would also cry.
Exactly. Me too.
It's
We're
one of
on
those
we're on good
things.
anxiety meds. We're just like, sorry, we can't,
yeah,
can't even show
gosh.
emotions anymore.
Well, maybe you guys will have to send me some. No, I'm
It's
just
like better than
Sure,
Botox, is what I'm saying.
It's
So
one
it's
of
okay
those
to cry.
things.
It's totally
okay.
okay.
It's okay.
It's one of those things. It's literally taught me so many great things
Yeah.
and brought me to so many amazing people.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know,
Wow.
like without it, would I have ever went and got a naturopath?
Well, that's it.
Probably not. So
Yeah.
would I ever have got to experience mediumship firsthand in the way that I have? And I think the way that I've gotten to experience it is extremely beautiful. Like I got to learn about my dad's father who passed away.
Mhm.
Who my dad doesn't speak of his dad often. It's very far and few. In my 30 years, I think I've heard him speak of him maybe 3 times. And I actually had him come through when I was first starting my mediumship journey.
Mhm.
And my dad's dad, hopefully I don't think my dad will hear this, but I don't know if my dad even knows this story, but my dad's dad was actually murdered.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So he came through and kind of showed me what occurred.
What happened?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that
And
must have been heavy.
it was heavy. It was also really his passing wasn't beautiful, but having that moment with him
Mhm.
was really
Mhm.
cool and really
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
and
What
to
an
know,
experience of a lifetime.
Mhm.
yeah, and honestly, at that time, I didn't know the story.
Mhm.
I'd read a story. It's in an Alberta book of like murder cases or whatever, and I had
Holy
read
cow.
that, but I didn't realize that was my dad's father. So
Holy cow, that's wild.
it was quite interesting, and yeah. So
So he had
Wow.
passed before you came into this world, obviously, then?
yeah, so he passed I believe when my older sister they had just found out that my mom was pregnant with her.
Mm.
Wow.
So yeah, so
Oh,
my dad was young and
yeah.
like, and so things like that are quite like I wouldn't have had those moments, right? Without the MS. I feel like the MS has brought in so many just unique things my way.
Mhm.
I'm just
Absolutely.
gonna use my
Oh,
Do
whatever. It's all
whatever you
good.
need to do.
I've muted
Do-
myself so many
And,
times because I'm like coughing and hacking over here, so it's okay.
and I just
Yeah.
yell at my dogs. I'm just like, "Can you not
Exactly.
destroy everything in the background.
He's
Please.
so
I keep
cute.
looking back. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I've got 3 pups here today. 2 of them are mine. And
Aw.
the one that is right here. Hold on.
Left. Is that
This one.
honey? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Honey.
She's a whip
Adorable.
baby and she is a jerk face. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
jerk.
you.
You're a jerk face.
Yeah.
Yeah, she likes to destroy everything. So that's why I keep looking back, being like, can you do this any other day?
Mhm. Yeah.
But
It's
so
no.
cute.
Your stories really like you found such beauty in tragedy. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like you've taken the literal lemons and have made lemonade. Do
Like
you
the
know?
most
I know it's such a,
delicious lemonade.
but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're right.
And I
Like
love lemonade.
Oh, good.
I love
I'm
lemonade.
just kidding. I'm just
I
kidding.
love it. No,
But no,
that's amazing though.
there's a lot of people that I know that could not do it the way you do it. Do you know what I mean? Even myself,
Yeah.
like I could not put myself in your shoes, but I think those shoes were meant for you. As horrible as that is, it's like, you're right.
Wow.
Yeah, I think without it, I think I'd be a very fast-paced individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a little rambunctious, maybe.
And that's okay to still do that too.
Yeah, and this has very much just taught me to just be able to slow down and be comfortable with it. I also think turning 30, everybody keeps checking in, like, how are you doing? And I watched some other individuals turn 30 and they're like really struggled with it.
Wow.
And I'm sure eventually when I get maybe like that 40, 50, maybe I will.
Yeah.
But I also feel I've had to come to terms, it's not every day you get told you got 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
How old if you don't mind me asking, how old were you when they told you that you had only 8 years?
Okay, when was COVID's been 3 years? Like now, I guess about
2020.
And then
will be 3 years in March.
Okay, so maybe
Right?
don't quote me on this. Yeah, we'll call that my MS brain. I'm about, I think it's 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow.
Or yeah,
Have they
4 or
changed
5
your
maybe.
diagnosis at all, considering how far you've been able to come in that time?
Well, we're waiting to go for another MRI right away because I've been noticing my memory is starting to go down.
Okay.
Which might not be a great sign. So what's happening with me is I have a thing called brain atrophy. So that's where your brain starts to essentially die. So it's like shrinking.
Yeah.
And it is very cool actually to see on an MRI, if you guys are wondering.
I bet. Yeah.
Like I kind of felt like a doctor for a slight moment. I was like,
well, you are Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. Right? I don't even need a doctor at this point.
Exactly. I need to have it. Let me press the button.
Yeah, let me press the button. And they it's quite cool. It's not cool because it's not a great, doesn't mean a great thing, but it is neat to see because it is such a significant change.
Yeah.
So right now we're just trying to maintain. I'm sure with the symptoms I'm experiencing this past month, probably some stuff going on, but it is what it is, and we'll take it. And once the medication kind of stops doing its thing, I have an opportunity to do one other type of medication, and then maybe stem cell.
Wow.
However, I've been working with I'm always willing to go back and doing like the natural path and that. I just needed a break because when you hear you've got, that 8 to 10, I was very like, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so tired. I don't want to, you don't want to be in the kitchen every day again, because when I was working with the natural path, that was my life. Get up, make food, clean, repeat, sleep. Like that was kind of like rinse and repeat until you get in a rhythm. And it takes about a month for me to get in a rhythm. And then you feel great, but for that first month. So eventually I hope to get back into another rhythm like that, where I'm eating what I need to be eating and all of that stuff. Yeah. But maybe I'll hire somebody to do all the cooking.
Fuck yeah. That's
right.
That's
I feel like that would
goal.
I feel like that would save and make it possible for me to get over that month hump, which
incentivize it a bit more. It'll help you live a lot more and not in the kitchen.
Coming.
Treat yourself, girl.
Treat yourself. Well, and this Aura equipment. So the medication has been helping. And so I took 2 years basically off, 4 years off. I don't know. what is time? Just
Yeah.
I took a chunk of time off. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
And I finally am feeling good enough. And I just decided, okay, what if the medication decides to stop working, or I need something that I can do that will work with me taking time off every 5 months, because it's not easy to get a job when you have to go for treatment every 5 months, and when the treatment may or may not make you sick for 1 to 4 weeks. So what do you do? Right. And then usually a month before treatment, I also start to get very fatigued and a bit groggy. So I really took a risk buying this Aura equipment, which was a great risk, and I'm so glad I took it, and I think it was the perfect timing. Awesome. But I think this is like going to be a ticket to kind of like, next year, like I've paid it off. So next year it's going to be more financial. Yeah. So I do think that next year, after the first chunk of time, I should actually be able to afford to do some things that I want to do to ensure that I can, maybe pay somebody to do the health stuff. Yeah. To ensure that I can make it over. I just need that 1 month. Yeah. That 1 month. And I think I'd be good. Yeah. So it's that ebb and flow. Like, I'm going to lean in the medical field right now because that's what I need. Yeah. And then I'm making small moves elsewhere. I love it. So that I can set myself up for, because unfortunately the funds are never there when you want to get to the root of the problem. Right?
Never. Yes. No kidding.
Exactly. Even though there's so many incredible things and places, like I've been connected with a place out of Sherwood Park, and they are incredible. Also really interesting. They've got this little machine that they put on your finger and a little water, and they check your medicine, and it's so weird. It looks like a dinosaur. But 5 of my family members, myself included, have all went and had success through them, and they're called Vital Health. So my mom, if you guys ever know of anybody who's like, let's say been on heaps of prednisone, and for example, my mom was on a lot of prednisone and unable to walk, and she had taken me to a few of my MS appointments. When we walked in, they thought that she was the MS patient because she looked so rough.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. And she couldn't hardly get up or down. Anyway, she went one visit, and about a week later, my mom was, I remember this clearly. We were walking, taking my niece out for a stroll, and she was running with her. And I was like, God. Mom, don't run. Like, you're going to be so sorry. She's like, Bobbie, I feel great. Oh, and you know what they gave her? This is even crazier. My mom had seen so many doctors, been on heaps of prednisone. Cherry juice.
What?
They're like, all you need is cherry juice.
Wow. Just to balance you out.
And
oh my goodness.
And here there's something to do with crystals that she has in her body that were settling, and the cherry juice fixed it.
What the heck? That's
so
awesome. She
still takes cherry juice to this day because it's the only thing that helps. But whatever, cherry juice is tasty, and
I'm like,
for $30 you can't go wrong.
Maybe we should all.
Should we all have some?
We should all do that.
Cherry juice.
Cherry juice.
Yeah.
I'll have one, and I'll think of you and your mother.
Yeah, please do.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah. So I don't know. And like, when I first went to them, it was like they, you pay, and then most people when we were talking to them, most people only go there 2 to 3 times, and then they don't have to go back.
Yeah.
Until amazing. The next thing arises, if it arises.
That's right.
So I don't know, when I do the math, that's like just under maybe $1,000 by the time you pay for those. Let's say you have 3 appointments, and then you buy the vitamins, give or take $1,000, 1,500, whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's worth it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because for most people, you probably only have to go once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it pays for itself in health.
And health is wealth.
It's an investment. Exactly. Yes. You see that return right away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's crazy.
That's phenomenal.
Holy cow.
I was going to ask you. I lost my question. I hate that when it's like on the tip of my tongue. Da, 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 da. Nope. I'll come back to it.
That's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. It's gone. It's like, and you're like, Never mind.
So, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, kind of changing the subject,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit.
Yes.
What did you guys end up thinking of your Aura report? I don't know if we ever touched base about it.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
So we loved it. So we were able to come and meet you with two of our, like, we have so many favorite cousins at that. And we're so excited when they come to visit us, because we don't get cousins to come visit us very often. So
No.
we're just like,
Yes.
As we get older,
And
we
going
get
to,
more
like,
visits,
going
and
out
it's
with them.
amazing. What'd you say, Brittany?
Oh.
It's exactly it. No, that's exactly it. We just get so excited to be with our people that
Mhm.
they're like your given best friends when you're little, right? Like these
I
little
know.
cousins that you just get to know. And anyways, one of my favorite moments that we had, not only having like our own personal auras done, but then when we got to have our group photo, I was like, what a memory that we all get to have together now.
So good. Hey.
Yeah.
It was so much. We all learned so much about each other and ourselves. And like,
Yeah.
I brought my report because I was just like,
mine's on the computer still.
Yeah.
I love it.
I printed mine off so I'd have it right away. But no, I love it. There's so much amazing information in there. And it was
it's like a 16-page report, isn't it?
Yeah.
15. Yeah.
15. Like, it is like filled with information about me, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
who doesn't want to learn about themselves?
I know.
And it's just a different way. So
yeah.
I loved it. I loved how we were just like, I honestly don't even know how we were just drawn to you so immediately, but I was just like, oh, we're gonna spend some money here.
I remember what it was, because I was like, oh, that's so cool. But then you had done, my friend Jason owns Heck Hates Magical Marketplace on the corner, and I saw
so
the
lovely
one of his dog, and
Tori.
I was like, what's the name? Tori.
Yes.
I was like, oh, Tori had it done, and I was like looking for Tori. I was like, oh wait, and like there's Jason or whatever, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, well, Brittany, like, we should probably do this. It was so much fun.
As soon as I figured out what you did, I was like, I've heard of this. I was like, I didn't even know that this could be close to anywhere other than, again, Sedona, Arizona.
I know.
So
yeah.
like,
I think Vancouver and Toronto as well are the ones that I could find online. But
do you have people seeking you out to try to, like, I'm not sure if you have to see them in person or if you do them virtually, but do you have a lot of people seeking you out now so that way they can get sessions with you?
Well, so it has to be face to face. So it has to be in person.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I actually haven't. So that is some things I want to like work on over this like winter season is getting my name kind of out there so people know that I exist. I think that's half the issue is people just don't know I'm here. And I'm also not super vocal about it either. And then I'm being honest, I kind of hit burnout after I saw you guys not you guys.
Oh,
not you, as in the royal you. Just that festival, unfortunately, just in my opinion, could have been a lot better.
Yeah,
it's a lot of energy walking through and a lot of questions, maybe, and then hopefully a lot of people that you were able to see, but it's a lot.
It also
like one weekend.
It was very unsafe.
Yes.
Was it really?
It wasn't like it normally is or was. It used to be. I don't know if you've ever been to the Fringe before.
2015 maybe.
Okay, so it would have been like the whole street of Broadway, lots of space, lots of like, I mean, still people everywhere, but definitely like.
They really compacted it.
I feel like they almost.
How does anyone do anything right?
Can I say nurture the craft a little bit more when it was so much more room, a lot more like, I don't know, much more of our people there. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that we're our people, you know what I mean? But
yes, it was. Like, you know, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was right in front of that bar.
Yeah.
Which I have nothing against a bar, but that particular bar did bring in its own. Crowd. And I did actually, the first night I showed up, I actually came out from having some wings up there, and my mom actually said, I have a bad feeling that maybe you're getting a ticket because I was parked in a place I wasn't supposed to be parked. So we came down, and as we did, somebody was trying to steal my tables and my board. And that was the first night. And then another night I had a guy come up and like clap in my mom's face and clap in mine and get quite aggressive, basically calling me a businesswoman, you know, but not in like I'm a
No.
boss, but like as I'm like a scam artist.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah. And then we had a bunch of other things like that kind of occur.
Oh,
And
that makes you not want to go back. That's for sure.
yeah. And
Wow.
like I even like the security guard, I just felt really bad for them as well. They had one person on at night, and
Wow.
you know, English wasn't their first language,
Oh, no.
which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the fact that you have one person and you want them to take care of all of this stuff for that entire area, which is an entire street and then an entire park. One person, like that's
Who
not
thought of
that you don't care about their safety.
No.
And that's not
a paycheck.
okay.
Yeah.
It's a paycheck. And they were the two nicest guys.
Oh,
And the one came and I said, how was your night last night? And he's like, 3 guys were trying to break into the food truck. I told them I was calling the cops. They spit in my face.
wow.
And I'm like, why like that festival, come on, you guys, you could have had more than one security on.
Yeah, there definitely could have been a lot of things better.
There was a lot of things that could have been better. And I don't want to be that person, but I definitely did lose. I did get upset, and I did lose it on them at one point because there was a situation that was just occurring that wasn't safe. And the guard had amount of people. And I asked for help, and they were like, well, if the security can't handle it, he has to call the cops. That's what we told him. And I said, okay, let's say he did call the cops. I'm telling you that there's a number of individuals. Why don't you get on your radio, call, and go and help them?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I've got equipment, you know, that's expensive. Yeah. We all have stuff that's expensive.
Yeah. Like we paid to be here.
Yeah.
And then it's disappointing too that a lot of people didn't know we were there.
Exactly.
Our names weren't even in that book. No. And I thought that was really disheartening. And I don't want to like, I feel like I'm crapping on, but Fringe is so great. But like I chose between Saskatoon and Edmonton.
Oh, fair.
And Edmonton is quite a bit more expensive, but I should have went to Edmonton because the amount of money I went in the hole is what it would have cost me to get into Edmonton. So that's also a lesson on me for not banking on myself, right? Because you shouldn't go on cost, but now I did in that moment, and I knew not to. I had, and everybody when I got home was like, you knew that something was up. They didn't email you right away. Like some of the emails I had were a little bit like, I don't know. It just, they weren't on the ball as fast as some other ones that I've been a part of this summer.
That's fair.
So,
well, even though it wasn't the most ideal, like you had to learn lessons from them. And now going forward, say you're going to be going to Edmonton this next year, you'll know to be like, how many security guards are there?
Yes.
What can I expect them to take care of for me? What do I need to leave there, or what should I not leave there?
Exactly. What are my rights? Because really, it's like I'm a renter. What do I get out of this? Like,
yes, absolutely. And that was a big lesson. And you know what? I will say this: I loved meeting you guys, and I had the people I had that came to my booth. Oh, I just like appreciate them more than they'll ever know, because we had such great conversation, wonderful connections. And then all of the vendors I just like adored. And the last day was fun because I just got to gift all of the vendors an aura reading, right? Because I wanted them to know that they actually were what made that festival for me.
Yes.
And so I wanted to make sure that I could give something, because I didn't want to come home with how that festival made me feel, because it didn't feel good.
Change the taste in your mouth, and leave it on your own terms the way you want to.
Yes. And actually, even when we got home, bringing up my mom again, because she's my best friend.
We love a good mom. I love mom.
She was like, you guys made her day. Like, she's like, you know what, like even that night when we got back to the hotel, she's like, you know what, Bobbie, if nothing else, I think, you know, it's such a treat that you got to meet those women, because we wouldn't have met them any other way. And you know, so you guys were such a bright light, and I appreciate, I just want you guys to know I appreciate that.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
And the whole group was so fun, and it was nice to have some bright lights, you know, stop by and hang out for a bit.
I love it how like fate just brought us together in the exact time and way that we needed it just to all go.
Yeah, it was great. And
Exactly.
honestly, like, yeah, but you know, your heart does hurt for creators. We really put our heart and soul, and it's people who have never done any sort of like market of any sort, whether it's a festival or farmers
Trade show.
market.
Yeah.
You put your heart and soul into that, and then for an event or the individuals putting it on to maybe not check in. There's little things, and I mean, if anybody's listening to this who's like putting on an event, just go and check in. Just stop in and say, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm so and so. Thanks for being here. That goes a really, really far way.
Totally.
And can really change the energy of an event.
Yeah.
Really
I
quick
bet
for the
you.
better.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I know a bunch of wonderful women that put on like retreats and events and stuff like that. And I'm definitely going to be like name dropping you to be like, you're going to need to bring in Bobbie. And
Oh, please
because
do.
they're going to be mostly in Saskatchewan, but still like all of my people love amazing avenues, like exactly with what you're doing. And because it is so different and hard to find, like you said, closest is like Vancouver, Toronto.
Yeah.
It'd be so amazing to have you closer for those wonderful.
Well, the other thing I'm really into doing as well, and like I would love to start pairing the aura, like for like just like I just think gathering is so nice, and especially when you have something to do. Are the crystal grid, shadow boxes, and I feel like okay, I would love to come up and like bring this to you guys. It's so fun. I think your group would just enjoy it so much. Bring all these crystals, and you intuitively pick, and then you set them up, and then I kind of like read it how you would like an oracle card.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Based on the shape and the stones you've kind of picked. Yeah. And it is so fun, and like it's a great way for people to experience their own intuition on their own, right? Because like we don't get a lot of safe places to practice playing with our intuition where we can get some confirmation. So playing with your own intuition for yourself, you're like, I do need that. Oh my gosh. Like that is, I didn't even know, you know, and it's really cool. So I have all these little cards that go with each crystal, but we don't put them out until the end. So afterwards we hand them out to you, and it's not really efficient. It's not really time efficient, but it is.
You're still enjoying the time together.
I love it, you know, so it's really,
I'll be definitely booking you for the summertime. Jessica is currently in Ireland.
You're in Ireland right now?
Right now. It is very dark.
What time is it there?
It is 9:07. So
like in the
evening.
At night.
Evening.
Oh, you said it's dark out there.
Yes, dark.
So, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all good.
Like it's dark. So it's morning.
You never know with our winter.
You know, it's usually
so she's going to be coming back this upcoming summer. So I will plan, and we'll get our cousins in, and whoever. They would. Now that we put it out there, whoever else wants to come. I was
going to say, yes, exactly. Cousins, friends, acquaintances, listeners, get in touch. Everybody. We should do like a big old night. Oh, I love a good crystal grid. They're so beautiful.
Well, and there's so many great things. Like Saskatoon is beautiful, and that's the other thing. I need to start branching out, you know, like there's to like get into some other places. Like I love traveling. I'm a terrible city driver.
That's all right.
Being honest.
You know what? Next time you come to Saskatoon, just call me up and I'll drive you around.
Exactly. There you go. I don't know if I'd recommend that, but
you're not here.
I know. So. I would rather drive if I had the choice, but that's fine. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure both of you would do much better than I am. Oh, scary.
No, we will definitely be doing that. No, our story together is just beginning.
I love it. Exactly. Yes.
I hope so.
I'm very glad that like we were able to like connect that first day, because I'm like, again, I'm sure that your mom was like overloaded. We're like, oh my God, your daughter's so cool. Like, we have a podcast.
Honestly, I think mom was so pumped. Honestly, she was like, we needed this. I was like, yeah, we did. As we're like having our wine at the end of the night, like, oh my gosh.
That.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to tell her that we were finally able to like get our shit together to get.
You know what? I actually didn't even tell her that I was doing this today, so she'll be so excited.
Yay!
Very good.
Hi, Mama Bobbie. Only because
she'll love that I called her my best friend.
My best friend. Oh, what's your mom's name?
Yeah, what's your mom's name?
Andy.
Oh my God.
Andy.
I was like,
I
it's
love
something with
that.
an A. And I was like, is it Angela? Angie?
Yes.
Andy.
I
Hello,
love it.
dear.
Hi, Andy.
Hi,
How you
Andy.
Sweet Andy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
Yep.
that. Okay,
Well,
so we could literally talk to Air Up forever, and that's
forever
why our
and
story
ever.
is not over, because we're
Exactly.
gonna be
Maybe a part
connecting
2.
with you more and more. I'm
Part
sure,
2.
over the next
Yeah,
year.
let's
It'll
go.
be-
I got so
Summer.
many stories for you ladies, you know?
Exactly. Yes, I'd love that. But yeah, let's oh, Brittany froze. Maybe. Can you see me, Bobbie? Oh,
I can see you.
okay, good. Very good.
That's good.
Brittany's internet, that's like the worst. I don't know how it's still for you, but she's like,
oh.
well, wait. I can always cut out this bit if we need to, but I probably won't. But if we do, that's fine. We'll just need Brittany to probably like restart her computer, because it's she always has this like issue. It's like the weirdest thing. She's like, oh, your internet. I was like, no, honey, it's your internet.
It's yours.
Oh, yeah, she just texted me. Fuck, hold on. Oh, God. Join when you can.
There's one other festival I think you ladies would absolutely love. If you
Yeah.
guys like to travel. Well, it's the opposite direction than you guys, so it's maybe a little bit of a journey past Edmonton. Did you
Yeah.
ever go to Edmonton? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's called the Wild Roses Festival.
Wild Roses Festival. Okay,
And
I
it
might
is a
have heard of it.
woman's, it's a women's retreat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tickets go on sale December 1st for like a special deal.
Uh-huh.
So if you ladies are around and interested, that might be one for you guys to check out.
Absolutely. Wild Roses Festival. And you said, okay, so December it goes on. Oh, Brittany says, shit, I need to resend the link. It's not working on my end. Can you let her know? I will be back in a couple of minutes with a new link. Oh, you can't join? What? We're still in.
Maybe we have to invite her back in.
Yeah, I'll do that anyways. But no, that's so cool. I'm like, it's kind of funny that you brought that up, because I'm like trying to think of something to get Brittany for like anything. And I'm like, oh, what can I do? And especially with me being so far, it's like, I just don't know, like, you know, what to
that
link.
one is fun, and you would have a group of individuals, you know. Well, I would introduce you to all the people that I'll be probably going with. I'm hoping to be working at the event.
Oh,
I haven't been accepted or denied yet, so we'll see.
Okay.
I worked it last year and it was really fun.
That's so cool. Yeah. So what do they kind of like? It's all kind of, I would imagine, like not spiritual based, but like in our world, like of metaphysical kind of.
Yeah, metaphysical. So there's like, last year was the first year I went was so fun. They had a thing called like pussy mapping.
Okay.
Which is like you learning about your vagina. And literally we were a bunch of women in a forest and we showed each other our vaginas, which is wild. But it was educational and not like it was very educational and empowering, because you're like, I don't know. I personally feel like there's a lot of shame around our vaginas, and you know, and we're always like, also I'm highly uneducated. So I got to learn about everything, and I don't want to be like I'm a hands-on learner, but like I do better. It sounds weird talking, but you know what I mean? Like,
I get it. I totally do.
I wasn't hands-on with anybody, you know, but like physically there, seeing, and then getting to see so many different types and shapes, and it was like, you know what? I mean, I'm not a fan of mine, but it made me be okay with mine.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Totally.
We all have the same thing down there.
Exactly. The same but different. Exactly. And like not one's the same, and they're every like, yeah, you've no idea. Do you ever watch the Goop Lab with Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yes.
You've seen her, I think it's like, I don't know, but it's about the yoni anyways, and like orgasms and all the things, but it is like mind-blowing, because like again, I had no idea. Like
actually it actually kind of reminded me of one of those episodes off the Goop.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
Right, because there is one about
they're like, sorry, babe.
They also
okay. Sorry guys, I knew my internet was or my computer was just gonna be like, nah.
That's okay. The other one that they had was like twerking and like meditation, and then they like, you name it, they probably have it. Like they had like a rage screaming one last year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and they had like breathing technique ones for like releasing.
Cool. Yeah.
hypnotherapy, like a lot. So we're just talking about another festival called the Wild Roses Festival, or the Wild Women.
Wild Roses, you said.
Wild Roses.
Yeah, it's just on the other side of Edmonton, Britt.
I was gonna say Wild Rose is very connected to Calgary because that's like their main brand of a lot of
Wild
I wonder.
Rose.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Wild Rose is like it's a huge brand out there.
Isn't it like the Albertan like thing? I don't know.
It's like their flower.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. But no, definitely have a look at that. You said December 1st tickets go on sale. We'll have a little look. See.
Yeah, and then the prices will go up, I believe, afterwards. Okay. But
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's fun. And then they've got like a whole healing area with a bunch of healers.
Mm-hmm.
So like last year you could get a facial done, a massage, Reiki. You could get
I pointed at Brittany because she's an RMT. I don't know if you knew that. She's
oh my
like, you could do this for like
working. Yeah. And you know what? It was so great. Like, I mean, the last day my friend closed, she's like, I'm closing down your little tent for a bit. She booked me all of these sessions with people. It was like, she'll trade. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. Like, it's nice to have people who know what you will do, but you maybe won't go out to like book them or book it for yourself. So she booked me a facial, and she booked me Reiki, and it was great.
Awesome. She sounds like a great friend. My gosh.
Yeah. Truly is a great friend.
Yeah. That sounds like such an amazing festival and opportunity if you get to like work it again. I hope if you want to, I hope you get to.
Yeah,
right?
I applied. So like, let's hope, I think it'd be cool because I would like to do for anybody who received it, maybe like a discount so they can make it like a yearly thing, a yearly check-in.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Exactly. And see how you're progressing. Exactly.
Yeah. Or see what's changed. And I don't know. It's cool, right? Because it shows you your chakras too. So like that can just tell you so much.
Yes.
It can give you a starting point of where to like send your attention or focus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love that. Okay. Yeah. We could talk forever and ever and ever. And I love that. But we should probably get on to card pulling. And then
card pulling.
So
basically what we do is you choose whatever deck that you feel connected to that would have a message for the collective for this week.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of decipher it however you want. So Jessica, do you want to go first so that we kind of show how
absolutely.
We do? And go second, I'll go last.
You betcha. So mine is like, because I have tarot, I've got oracle, I've got angel cards, but I pull from my animal spirit book thing by Kim Kranz. So it's like, it's fantastic. Anyway, so I always pull from her. So I always ask my guides to like, what do we need to hear this week? To nudge somebody maybe in the right way. You know what I mean? What do they need to hear?
Yeah.
What's going to give them that bit of oomph guidance that they might need? A bear. How nice. What a nice little thing. A black bear, for more specific. I know we've gotten this one recently, but I totally understand. Even before I like look at, and then like usually I cold read, or you know what I mean, like with my oracle and that, but like with these it's so specific. But of course my first instincts are hibernating and getting ready for maybe the toughest season yet. Do you know what I mean? Is kind of my first inkling when I look at the bear, is it's like relaxation but also struggle. Anyways, where is it? Waking from spiritual slumber, beginning anew. So I might have been wrong, but whatever. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of the spiritual guest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles, but you have no choice. Winter wanes, the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. So when we're feeling in balance, we have our inner strength and we're yearning to grow. When we're out of balance, we feel withdrawn, lethargic, or heaviness. And to bring into balance, movement or exercise. Dancing is like all I like. Throughout that whole thing, I feel like we just need to dance a little bit more. Anyways, that was my...
There's nothing wrong with dancing.
I love a good dance movement.
Nothing
That's coming
wrong.
from me, and I'm like an ugly dancer at the best.
I
But
love ugly dancing.
it's the only way
my
to do it.
favorite.
Why would we
Mhm.
dance any other way? For those,
Absolutely.
we were not dancers. We like attempted, like the community, like hip hop classes,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But there was no.
Mom and dad were like, you need to do something. So you choose out of this community leisure guide, and that's what you're doing.
Like literally, it's like, here's the Saskatoon leisure guide. What do you want to do? It's like, I don't know, fencing and hip hop. Or anyways, so yeah, so definitely movement.
I love it.
Movement.
I like
of some sort. Anyways, yeah,
Bobbie, what did you choose?
yeah.
What card do I choose? Okay, well, I'm
Purple.
working from this actually my first deck I ever got gifted to me. Going with the
Amazing.
Angels. It's
Oh,
Oracle.
I love it.
So it's been with me for ever. So I dropped the card,
Forever.
sorry.
That's okay.
Forever. So we've got the enchantment card, which is actually one of my favorite cards. So whenever this one drops for me, it just means that you're so full of so much magic and potential. And it's okay to put that drive into action. So it's your time, baby, to let
Good
people see your
job.
magic. That's what I love about the enchantment
Yeah.
card.
That was yeah.
I love that.
That was
Yeah,
very
this
much
is-
hand in hand with the bear as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit my mic.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, and with this one, when it first fell, you can see the steam coming out of the nostrils. So it just shows me
Yeah.
you got the steam to make whatever dream you got going on occur in the most angelic way. So we're here for it.
I really love that.
I love that. That's beautiful. I like, yeah, seriously. Something's
I love
getting
it.
fired up here.
I'd say because the card that I chose as well. So I just chose from the Enchanted Map Oracle deck
Lovely, lovely.
Ooh.
that I have, and because I'm working from my phone here.
Sorry. Keep hitting my mic. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. As long as you can hear me, you can see me.
Mhm.
So it's interesting because Jessica's about movement. And Bobbie, yours, oh my gosh, why did it just slip my mind? As soon as you said it, I was like, yeah, that's perfect. And I was just like, what was yours
Steam.
again?
Full steam ahead.
Yeah,
Full
that-
magic.
Yes.
Enchantment. Yeah.
Right. So moving your body, full steam ahead. And what I got was
So cool.
the Goblin card.
Ooh.
So I also
Okay.
pulled it reversed.
Okay.
So overall, it says like fear is an illusion, choose love today, forgive yourself and others. When this card's reversed, it says step back with like just detachment. Don't let other people's stuff lead you into reacting from an old wound. Love yourself unconditionally and set boundaries, and your goblins will just fall asleep. Love is the only answer. So
Wow.
I like it.
Okay. Yeah, I love it.
Mhm.
I feel like it's very on par with like the conversation and stories that I've shared today.
Yes,
Yes.
You know,
absolutely.
those wounds, those like the journey you can go on, and there's gonna
Yeah.
be setbacks, but
Exactly.
there's always something we can learn.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to bank on yourself.
You're right.
Yes.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know? Take that risk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let
Honestly,
the-
I think we don't bank on ourselves enough, to be honest.
totally.
And we're
Yeah.
so much more capable than we'll ever probably believe that we are.
exactly.
No,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Exactly. We
Ah.
just need the confidence. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
I love this. So Bobbie, can you do like a quick shout out of where everyone can find you?
Yes.
Oh, of course. So on Facebook, it is Soul Kiss, capital S, capital K, one word. On the Instagram, which is my primary means of contact, it is the Soul Kiss Journey. And
Mhm.
any questions, you just shoot me a message. I love the old Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
That's awesome. I do want to thank you for being so candid with us and so vulnerable and really, I mean, like we had no idea. Like we knew that you were an amazing person, but we just didn't know. Just
Oh,
You've
yeah.
done the
Sweet.
roots of it.
exactly. Like holy shit. Like you're a
Yeah.
magnificent person. I hope you know that.
Oh, thanks.
I really do think that like, when you
Well, I
meet
think-
people that like, yeah, I think you've got a lot to show people, I think. And I'm so proud to have had you on the podcast, but to kind of make a friend out of you.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think that would be
I'm
great.
so lucky to have met you ladies. And honestly, you guys have what do they say, divine timing,
Yes.
and are an absolute sunshine and I think a lot of people's lives, you know, that laughter and that joy. And yeah, what a treat. And you know what, funny enough, I've been wanting to do a podcast, start one myself, and I haven't.
Fantastic.
And so I'm glad that I could be on your guys's for my first one ever.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Well, if you ever want help, let me know.
Jessica is the tech support.
All the things.
I do nothing.
Okay.
I'm just
yes. Okay, I'm gonna message you. We're gonna chat.
Yeah, seriously. My best advice is, and for anybody out there listening as well, if it's been something you want to do, yes, every Tom, Dick, and Harry has a podcast right now, but I find it so therapeutic. And I think it's like, I just tell Brittany, when we started this, it was like, we've talked about it for years. We just need to do it. We just need to, we did one episode, our first episode, that nobody will ever hear because it was so awful.
It was terrible.
It was like, do not air this. But do you know what I mean? We had to do it. We had to do it. Oh God, it's so bad. I'm sure it's looking at it now. It's like, Jesus,
like not good.
But you have to just do it. You have to just try. Right. That's it.
Yeah. I love it. I'm glad you guys are doing it. And it's great.
You.
And actually I did listen to two of them, I believe. I was I was cleaning. I was like, I need to feel like I'm around some women, you know? And I think it was the one I listened to was kind of like that, the start, like the basic things that you can do, and you're breaking it down. And I was like, awesome. I love it. There was like, it was just a good place to start for anybody who's just starting. And I think it's necessary because sometimes, you know, we jump in and we start talking to people like they're where we are at in our journey. And you just kind of were like, here, let's meet you where you're at. And I thought that was cool.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're so lucky to have you today.
Yeah, thank you.
Spend some time. So thank you so much for everything today, Bob.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And for everybody else who wants to find out a little bit more about us, we are available on TikTok, Instagram, and is there one more? Nope.
Yeah,
YouTube, damn it. I always forget one. And YouTube. So we like record this and we like post a video. So if whoever wants to, rather than listen, they watch. Yeah. And that's Basic Banter for Witches. And then you can also email us basicbanterforwitches@gmail.com. So lovely. Easy as pie. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Bobbie. And we'll talk to the rest of you guys soon. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.